on YouTube as well. Let me just confirm once that if that is the truth, and we will start where we left off. In the, maybe it was not a month back, but it was quite a couple of weeks back. We will start with the other implementations of this SSG, which is integrated with the database. Okay, so I think that is live on YouTube and Twitch as well. So let's start with today's thing. So to recap, what we did in the last stream was just an overview of what we are going to build, which is a static site generator along with a database to serve it as a next, or we can say a second source of truth, where we not only have just the GitHub or version control source as the source of truth for all of our content, but also a database where we can pull and push the post or any of the content that we have into it. So that adds one more layer, which is the editor. So with that editor, we can kind of push to that database and then pull it via GitHub Action or any other cron job. That will be used to save it on the GitHub side as a version control side, and with database we can use it as uh, other source for adding the content to it. So let's once we have cleared this, I'll go back here. So now we have something to work with. So let's start with the actual implementation. It won't be a direct start with that, but let's start with. I don't feel like it here. So package main. I think we have already done this previously, but let's start from actual scratch because that was not actual coding there. So once we have this skeleton, let's start with what we actually decided to do in the previous one, which is to get the. So first we decided that we want to have a config. So first we will read the config, which to again iterate on that, which is a file where we can specify what is the base URL of the website, what is the name of the author, what is the name of the website or web page, sorry, not website, but uh, so what, where are the posts residing in the folder, uh, what structure you have to follow, what are the other things like you can specify different directory structure, like you have specific things for let's say short posts or long form of posts, those kinds of things. Or if you are making a portfolio site, then you can have other sections like projects or experience and those kinds of things. So those all things will decide on the config. This is where the actual user will edit or interact with. So that is the most outer section of the SSG. That is the primary thing with which the user interacts on the code side. Not a code, but as a configuration side. So once we have the config, we need to read certain things which are uh, load in, loading in the post, right, which will be fetched from the where the post folder is, and then once we have the post, we know what are the keys and values that needs to be injected. But to inject it where, we will need to load in the templates, the the templates. Templates are like what we call HTML pages uh, with certain placeholders. So those placeholders will be come in the next step where we will actually render the template with the content. So the templates will have a boilerplate code. Let's say you are designing the home page, and not let's not consider home page because that will be a little complicated. Let's consider a uh, post template. Post is like any article that you write or any form of content you write, and in that we will have certain keys like title, description, tags, the actual content. So those will be in the markdown file, whereas the templates will have a way to render those markdown or the actual content into an HTML file because the end result of this SSG is raw HTML files. So we need a boilerplate HTML in order to inject those content into that HTML file. So once we have the templates rendered out, this rendered template will be the final output of that particular post. But we have to do all of the other things which the config has been specified. So after this, we have to decide it on the go. I cannot comment it out here how we want to proceed it right now because uh, we can have all sorts of things here. We can have tags, we can have series, we can have uh, what you call sections or nested sections. So that could be depending on the design of the SSG, which I don't want to delve into because that will be a separate topic for this. We just want bare bones certified generation, how it actually works. So that will be it for actual static site generation. Uh, we can build on top of this, which will be to uh, load in the static files. This is a bit trivial because we just have to uh, specify get the directory where the user has specified the static files are residing in. So that will be picked from the config and just read all the files in that folder, and that should be it. So that once that is done, we need to move into the step where we now we have temp, uh, now we have the actual content and we have static files. So we'll pack the HTML pages and static files in a folder. So that folder will be the whole web page in general. So the entry point should typically be index.html. So let's say the slash route that is let's say abc.com. So abc.com will be the base URL and slash. So that will be the slash URL will be pointing to index.html. And if that route is hit, we render the index.html. So that index.html should be the entry point for the web page. From there, we can have multiple links to all the nested folders and files. So that is how it works. And this is it. And the final step for the actual development of this will be the serve the folder. It is dependent on language itself because we use serving this folder with any on any port. That could be like a trivial thing, but yeah, this is how we actually view the files on the local host. So that is the flow, and let's start the actual sum because this we have already done. So once uh, this is done, I will go with the normal route, which is to let's say you are using Hugo, which is the popular static generator for which uses Golang as its language. It has Hugo.toml as the config file standard, the default config file. So I will go with this as well, which will be uh, called as, let's call it a constant here. So let's name it SSGO. That sounds pathetic. SSG config name, which will be set as, do we have to do it again? Let's call it ssg dot YAML or JSON, because most of people do YAML and TOML. I'm not sure who does it in a JSON way. Uh, I'll keep it JSON for now because that is just it's just a change in what we call the sorry JSON, YAML, and TOML are just what we call now the file types or encoding types. So we can anyways change it later on. But for now, I'll keep it JSON because it's quite easy to use and get started with. Okay. Once I'm happy with this, I'll start the actual stuff. Just give it 2 minutes. I think the voice is too low. This one, it is not quite low, but uh, you can hear me, but that is not hearable. Did I lose the connection or is it just me? Okay, yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. I think that is perfect now. I don't know if I was just rambling right now or it was better. Did I lose the connection or is it just... Yeah, I think that should be it. We are ready to start this now. We read the config. So how do we read a file in Golang? This is a JSON file, so this should be with OS or read file, right? So the read file takes in, I think it gives out two variables, two outputs, that is the bytes and the error if it, yeah, so slices of bytes, and that will be as config bytes and or error, like if we are successfully in reading the file, then we do not allow. Just a second. Okay, back with it. Yeah, I didn't destruct this right. Yeah, so once uh, we specify the file name, this should read out the files. And now let's log the error out if we have any error. If error is not equal to nil, then we log that not panic, filter out the error. And for the time being, so once we have the config bytes, we need to load the config bytes into an what you call a structure that will be used. So I'll explain it to you once I have the config. So let's create this quickly. This will be our JSON. For now, let's keep it simple with okay, that is let's call it base URL or file. Let's keep it simple author name. Well, author, we can have a list, we can have a dictionary with a name, uh, email, this will be primary config. Let's create a name. Let's create that will be the config. So what I was saying is uh, we'll have this config, and from the code, how do we access, let's say, the author's name? So what we'll have to create is sort of a structure, and this is where you have to boil down or freeze down your config for static site generator. It could be dynamic, but the base things, like the basic things, needs to be uh, needs to be properly set. So let's create a structure. So let's call it file name and not name. File name. So struct, I don't know if that is struct type or type struct. Type is the config struct. Yeah. Once this is a structure, this is a so once we load this, we will have a key called author, right? So if you see here, we have a key called author. So let's add the key author. It will be again of a structure. So it will be a list of authors. What is the author? Let's define that as well. We can have it inline, but let's keep it quick. Author struct. We have name, a string, and JSON as name. So this is a tag where if we are trying to marshal from JSON, so we are loading our JSON file into bytes and then trying to deserialize that JSON bytes into a structure that can be used for that particular programming language, which is called the deserialization process. Uh, let's check. I know the process, but the terms I am a bit confused. So is it so the process of converting JSON into like byte level, not byte level code, but what do you call it? We have a wire format and converting it into uh, objects or the the I don't know what that term is for, like converting it to the data types for that particular language is called as. So serialization is one of converting an object state into format that can be stored or transmitted effectively. This is okay. Yeah, I was correct. So it is called deserialization. So deserialization is constructing a data structure or object from a series of bytes, right? So deserialization is what we are trying to do here, which is the reverse of serialization, correct? So here we have MS data, where that is perfect, that's fine. So this is the uh, JSON file, and what we are doing here is we are trying to read the file into a slices of bytes. Once we have slices of bytes, we'll see how we'll serialize it, but the actual process is what we are concerned here. Um, so let's not get ahead of get ahead of ourselves too much here. Let's uh, show you how this is working out. So I have the file, and now I need. I think I lost it for a minute. I need the so I need to load the bytes into somewhere, right? So I'll create a interface of interfaces, let's say. So it is let's call var config object, which will be an interface. I don't know if you call it that way or other way. So once that is done, let's not call that too big. Uh, so that will be just function. Let's search how we do Golang deserialization. I think it is something from encoding JSON and marshalling. Yeah, and marshal, sorry. So JSON, why not able to access encoding JSON? So JSON dot. Okay, why is that not working? So what is this one? Yeah, now it's working. So in marshal, so you can see here it takes in a list of bytes and v of any. Now this any is a reference, not a reference, but so yeah, it will be a reference kind of to the object that we want to load into. So in this case, the data will be the config bytes from the JSON file of the config, and v, which will be the value that we want to load that bytes into a structure for Golang. So let's call this config bytes. So the first object is that and config object in here. And again, this function returns two. Okay, yeah, it will just return one because it mutates the config object. Like it, so the config object will be like it assumes it will be empty because we want to load it from using this function. So we will have error out of like if there is deserialization error that will be returned from this function. A typical Golang programmer's job to log that error out. So we'll do this. Why is complaining? Oh, no, yeah, because we have declared error beforehand, so that complaining ratio. So now if you're trying to print out config object, right? Let's see what happens. Let me close this. So go run. What is it? Did I leave this empty? There we go. On enter interface. Perfect. We need errors, guys. So let's. Why are we getting an error of unmatched SSG.json? Usually something like that. Was it interface of interface? Let's not use deserialization and Marshall sounds a good word to be used. For JSON arrays. Oh, okay. And Marshall is specific JSON element. I don't recollect what was that exactly. Um, So that is indeed there, but not able to load that config object in the current interface. Let's just give me 1 minute. I'm just so it's there. Um, I don't know what that was. It's really curious. What was that? Interfaces of interface. What was that called? Yeah, using empty interface, something like this. I could use GPT, but hold on. Hmm. I'm really curious if it was this. Maybe it was not that. Yeah, let's just try it out. I don't know what was that. I'll get back to you if I remember. Yeah, I recollect that. So map string of interface on oh do we do this one? Oh yeah. Okay. So this would also have been working. Yeah. So now we have the config object. What we can do here now is so it has so interface is a little what we call a molding interface. Like it is like a if you can give it anything to it and it will try to get that into a close resemblance of what the overall structure is. So as you can see over here, we have a list, sorry, a map of string that is looking like a string and a list. Instead of list, we again have a map, which is expected because if you see the SSG configuration, we have a map. Uh, it is a map, right? Dictionary or what do we call it? Yeah, I'm running out of words. So this is a map of strings of list, right? And this is the key, this is the value, which is a list. And inside of list, the elements are actually again an object or a dictionary where the value or the so as you can see over here, this is a broader level dictionary, and this is a simplified dictionary. Here we have nested, we have a list, and then we have a nested dictionary. So here it serves as a key, and here name serves as a key. But its value is much more simpler, just a simple string. Okay, so mm, that is what it does. So now we know that config object is a map. We try to access author, it won't quite do it because it's the interface and not an actual structure. Okay, so we what we needed to do here is we need some so that's where the Golan's interface knowledge really comes in. So interface, we can have, sorry for that, I was some weird tracker. Is it, yeah, okay. So what I wanted to do here now is to cast this config object into a map. So how do we do that? I think we do it this way. Map of string and interface. Do not give error. It's some way or the other of this, right? Mm, maybe not. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's how we do it. So we have casted this into map of string interface, and if we try to access the author, you can see the previously we had used this, and now we have reference to author, and now we are getting this. Okay. So let's uh, try to explain to you how this is working. So I'll have author here. I will set it to the config object. I'll try to cast this interface into a map of string and interface. And this will have the key of author. That's the only key it has. Author declaration. Yeah, this is fine. So we'll have author now. Okay. So once we have author, we try to access name. So since we have the author, we'll again cast it down because now, as you can see, the string is author, but now the interface is author, right? Initially, the config object was the interface, and the config object was now mapped to this goal value, and now the author became the interface. So similarly, we can have a map of string and an interface. So okay, let's not call it interface, let's call it string because we now know that that is the only thing, right? And what I mean, let's call it a little down here. And the list of interfaces, correct? Because now author, okay, there are multiple authors. So authors is the file name. It should be actually called authors. So authors, it is a list of map of string of strings. Alright. So what we will have here now is so authors. Authors list. I'm really curious what the difference here. Yeah, this is the really drawback of this. That we can only pass it as this way and not the other way around. Yeah, so it cannot really actually determine the last config for it. So yeah, author dot map of string. string. Why can't we do this? Yeah, because we already done that. Okay. Email. mm, Yeah. So this is the process of serialization. I went to ahead doing this. So you can see then that this is a little cumbersome, right? Like you don't want to do this for all the interfaces, like not interfaces, but you don't want to do it for all the list of structures that we have. So we what we do is we write this structure, and how unmarshalling works is it remembers this JSON tag with the name. So here, let me keep that open. So you can see over here we have the name, and it will uh, cast that object, that interface of the type string. That's why we have the JSON tag here. Let's complete this with the similar notations. The name, the email, the GitHub. We can have multiple things over here, but for now I'm keeping this quite simple. So now what we will need to change over here is this interface. I'll change it with config SSG config, and this reference will be SSG config. Oh, sorry, not config. Yeah, this will remain there because we have just changed the type of that variable, not the variable name. So config object, let's see how that looks like. Okay, maybe we have done some errors there. So, oh yeah, uh, so this is uh, that thing because the broad level config is this. I'll just mute myself for a second. Okay, I'm back. Yeah. So the authors is the high level key, right? The first key that we use to reference this. So we have added there, and now that should work. And yeah, that is how it works. So now you can see the config object will be a dictionary. So we can access it as no. Oh yeah, okay. I'm coming into Python land, so this will be author. And so since author is the name was very bad, the name was very bad. So it will be authors. It will be a list, right? So if you hover over it, you can see it is a list of authors. So let's do one step at a time. So you can see that that was a dictionary, and we access the authors, and now we have a list of authors. So I'll do authors of zero. That will just return the first author that we have, and further we can access all the fields which will be name, email, and so on. So this is much easier, right? Defining a structure, creating, reading it into bytes, and then unmarshalling those bytes into the type of that structure, and accessing it later on with that field settings. And there are few uh, things to consider here, that this all fields needs to be capitalized, because Golang thinks those structure types as private and public depending on the capitalization of the field name, the first letter of the name. So if I keep this GitHub as smaller g, so it gives me error saying struct field data. It has recent tag but is not exported, which means it uh, while doing unmarshalling, it won't pick up GitHub as from it won't convert it into GitHub. So if I look, uh, so this will be, let's remove that and run this again. You can see it has picked up name, the email, but not the GitHub uh, ID. So yeah, it won't actually unmarshal or not unmarshal, but it won't unmarshal it into that particular JSON file. It will have it uh, if we do the interface type, but not with this structure approach. So yeah, you need to have uh, publicly exposed types in the structure. Otherwise, it won't be able to do it. That is one thing to consider here. Yeah, and with that we have the config thing loaded in. Okay, that is the thing that I wanted to show you. And now let's do the actual thing. This is just why. Okay, so I'll create a key for site, which will be the config for the actual site. So we'll have thing for here. Let's call it desktop blog base URL. Yeah, let's just keep it for that right now. Um, Yeah, so that's what I've defined some keys here, which is post dir, which will be the folder part to where we will look out for the markdown files. The templates dir from where we will load the templates. Static dir when we will copy the static files into the output dir. Output dir will be the folder which will contain all the files including the start entry point which is underscore HTML. So once that is done, we'll add it here as well. So let's create our site for site config. Actually, I should not use that. Yeah, that looks good. Site config. What was that? I use URL. Okay. Let's the JSON tags. Okay. Once that is done, we'll add the site config here. We'll just call it site. Site config here. Site config will be. I have named it site. Right? Site. That's not a good name actually. Site page config. Mm, let's call it blog. A blog is a very common, very specific name. It is a web page, website. Yeah, let's name it blog as well because that is technically like a blog, right? That should be okay. So okay, let's mm, pick up a speed here because we are getting it too slowly. So once we have the config thing, right? What we want to do here is we want to focus on this part, the post dir, and move into that folder. So once we have the config object, we can have block post dir. This will be the actual post folder. So let's call it post folder. And if we bring the post folder and run it, you can see it is post. So let's go ahead and create a post folder and sample.md. Okay, let's go ahead and okay, this is interesting. So I have used JSON as the what you call JSON as a config format. So I want to keep that consistent with the front front matter front matter FRONT front matter as well. So this will begin. Okay, I am not sure about this. Let's search for it. JSON front matter. I think it looks something like that only, but let's see. Yeah, here it is formatted. Oh, it's Vivo. Okay. Oh, okay. So you already support all of the formats here. Yeah, I was saying something about this, like this, right? So what you can have is you can have key value class as your front method and say so like we had it here for the overall uh, site or web page, we can have similar thing for the individual post. Okay, so here we'll not go much fancy here. We just keep it simple as that other standards, other SSG have their own standards. So we usually have title, subtitle, or description, date, author, and tags, or maybe some if the post is part of a series, but that is a different thing. So let's create the sample post here. I will go with subtitle. Subtitles are also a little easier. Let's call it description. The sample post for SSG from scratch in Golang. Not actually scratch, but yeah. What date? This is okay. They are going with string. Let's go with string as well. So today is 23rd of November. Yeah, I just stick to that. And yeah, we also have this status. We call it publish. And there is, I think that's it, I guess. Let's add one more key here for username, which will be used to reference this later on. Okay, so this is the what we call the metadata of the post. As user will define or will pick it up, and this will be the actual content. Hello world. Okay, so this is the sample page that we created. Okay, now comes the part where we want to load in all the posts. Okay, so you can see here we have posts in the folder. Okay, once we have where we want to look out for the individual posts, we can do one thing, which is iterate over all the files in that path and check if that is a markdown file and it has required on matter, then we'll append it to a global list of posts. Okay, it's time to little draw a little thing. So this will be the post folder and why it is too low. Okay, so this is the post folder, right? And this will have individual files like sample.md, post.md, and so on. And it might also have certain posts like let's call it let's go with torso. This will be a folder, and inside our folder we will have individual markdown files called yes, let's call it setup sql.md, local, and so on. So uh, this section, this case we'll handle later on, but for now we want to have load all of these files into those will be raw files, right? And what we want to have is an object or a structure which will have a list of posts, and those list of posts, what we'll have is so this will be a post which feels like title, subtitle, description, content, anything that we discussed or we wrote in the sample.md file. That's all. So content will be the file, the string with the actual text of that file, and we'll have certain fixed set of key value pass, which will pick it up from the front meta. So that is the flow. So you will be thinking what we will be doing, what we will be doing with this post and list of posts. Right? So that is the question that we are going to answer once we have loaded the template and we have rendered. So once you have loaded the templates as well, we'll need both of these. Right? We will need the actual content and the template. Once we have the template, we'll iterate over all of these posts and find that template for the post, which will be the which will typically be all the posts will have the same template. We will have edge cases there. We'll have certain cases where we want to separate out the template. But for now, this will be the same template for all the posts. And that template, we will need to replace the placeholder values with the actual content. And that's why the list of posts will be coming into handy because we can directly access the content, we can directly access the key value pairs there and just plug in the values in the template. So that is the background why we are doing uh, converting this whole file into bytes and then marshalling down to objects. So let's do the first step, which is to it to walk through the folder. I actually don't remember on top of my head how to walk through a folder in Golang for reading the file. That is a bit hard, like I don't want to do that way. But yeah, that should be configured in such a way that piece of code is really expandable. So I don't have to rewrite it from scratch again. Actually, today's title is a bit weird. Loading control SSG from scratch. Loading loading config and post. Let's okay. So what we do here is I don't want to deal with channels here. Call it a golden since every worker is busy. Okay, that is quick way to do it. I don't necessarily want to do it quickly. Maybe we want to, but that is quite interesting. Actually, I have written the post. How can I forget it? file reading. So just to have that, read file line by line. Actually, this was just reading the file that was one, yeah, part. I think that should be it. Yeah, get the current one. No, that is the current one. Get path of file in the yeah, list only files in the path. Yeah, this is what I am talking about. So yeah, so we use walk dir, walking over this. We have the path we already have, which will be the post. We have a function callback that will return an error, but it will take in the path and info it dir input again. Dir name will be the base file path in the dir path. Okay, if it's a dir and name is not dir name. Okay, here we can include some specific file, but why is this condition dir names? Oh, yes, yeah, it will be dir name. So info is what? It's a directory entry. I'm not getting it actually. Info.name is not equal to the directory name. What is dir name? Directory path. Oh, okay. You mean is it like a base case? Like it is not within that directory? Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. Okay. So info.name will be the uh, info.name. But how can that be? Is the dir name the base directory of that path? Okay, let's just check this out because I'm getting into the middle. So we taken the file. Okay, okay. So let's call post file as list of files. Okay, list of keys. Mhm. Let's create a function for it because I think we will require this later on as well. So I'll call this function read file uh, dir. Let's do it. Read files. Dir will be I think that's it that what we require here. This will return a list of things. If you don't read file, just call it uh, walk and list file. Uh, okay, that is that. So what we are trying to do here is file path dot walk dir. It will give the root directory and a function callback. Okay, anonymous function you can call it. So it will be a function that oh that was quite neat. So this will return a function. This is another function which will take in the path in the dir entry. What happens if I say info dot is sorry, info dot is info is represented by entry, right? So is so we'll create an empty list of strings, and if it's not a directory, we will simply need to append this thing to the path, right? Yeah, and return nil. Oh yeah, because the function returns an error. Okay, so if error is not nil, because that whole thing will return a single error, and we can return files. Sorry, and here the broader thing will be files and with files. Okay, so let's call this thing uh, walk in this file. We'll put this folder. Let's put this for now. I'll get back to that in just a second. Okay, let's present that. Those files, uh, walk on this file. With, uh, log, paper, okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking about because uh, according to this function, it will call it on itself as well. So if we try to print from the print d dot d dot name. If I try to print that, it will uh, see if that is uh, itself as well. So if d dot is dir, then it will so d is a directory, right? Here in this case d dot name, as you can as you saw there, the, the first entry created was on itself. So d dot name was post and d dot is there will return true because that was a directory and we don't want to skip that case. That in that case is d dot uh, info d dot uh, well, okay, yeah, so that's why I use this dir name, which is the current directory name. So this will be dir. Yeah, dir part makes a lot of sense. Directory part. Directory part. So in here, dir name is not sorry. D dot name is not equal to dir name, right? Yeah. So let's print both of them. So it should be the same. So this will be dir name and d dot name. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see those are both the same, and that's why we are not able to run that. Cool. But that is a bit weird actually. Neither is not equal to dir name. But why do we force this? And is that part different? And that is different. That is different. Yeah, uh, so far is this part, and the other part is the uh, one that we have passed through the function. So in this part is specific to that. So yeah, so we want to copy that part. So I'll just log that out. So we want that written. So it will post and okay. Uh, that doesn't make sense. Yeah. Uh, okay, so if it is this condition, if it is a directory and if it's the same, we are looking for the same directory, then I just return null. I don't want to get over here. I just return null and turn it to the else here. That is the default install by else. Okay, so yeah, we have what if I just don't want to do anything here and then just do something? Okay, that is quite tricky. Uh, that is quite tricky. maybe what we can do is we can have slice instead, right? Or can we? Oh, we can. That's good. That's it. I don't we want to do it in Python. Two like that. So, yeah, so that is it. We have got a list of files within the post file, and now the next step will be to read all of those files. So function read files will take in files, which will be a list of strings, and yeah, that's it. What we will return is something that work on, which is a list of posts or an error. So now let me define the post structure. So post will, let's keep it separate. A type of font matter. Content. So font matter will have the title as string, then description. We will want to last description status. A bool, not a bool. Yeah, we can have status as boolean later on because we only will have it as a published or not published. So let's keep it simple. What do you want to make it boolean right now? Because if you look at it, status is just what it actually suggests, right? What I was thinking for this is like a different status depending on what type of post it is. So we'll have some sort of filter where you can create like different sets of different sets of posts, like normal post, PIL post, or just uh, short form of post or long form of post. So then, but let's not do that. Let's keep it going. I think I need to change it uh, in the sample as well. The status will be okay. That will be quite. That's why I had it that way because that is quite confusing because what does true mean to a user? So for now, let's keep it string itself. Uh, we'll have to manually do the publish draft in the string unity with the string comparison. Let's have it type string called type. So in this case, the type will be post, and I think I need to have you can have nums in Golang, right? I was searching for immerse. It is a structure, not a structure. Let's not call it structure. It will be not string to string. Not really string to string. That's quite weird, right? How do we specify that? First, try to use your type of string. So, let's connect post. We can define it with post. Uh, PIL defined as string. A project, not project, project as project is not an expression. Okay. Oh, okay. So we can have a cons and we can define those here. So, yeah. As let us provide post type as string. So we want it as in post post type iota and okay. Till range. Okay, how do we do this? So map of state. Okay, got it. So yeah, let's okay, that's it. Okay, once we have that, we want what we want to do is we want to simply do a for loop on all the files. So for file and range files, file, and file life or error was three file with the file name and that's it. Uh, that's what I'm doing. If error is not there, log. Uh, Now, since we have the bytes, we want to encode that, right? So, okay, I was where I was here. So that post will be in matter. It's not matter, acting matter, and the content as okay. That is quite good. And that will be quite tricky because now what we want to have is how do we separate this two? We can definitely have split. Uh, so what I am thinking of is so files I'll convert it into a string and so string or rather bytes dot split. I want split after actually. So passing the file bytes, file bytes. The separator will be how do you specify the separator? Is it a slice of bytes? Oh, okay. Let me define it separately, which will be uh, front matters separator and a slice of bytes, which will be how do you define that then? Hmm. So files, yeah, I just uh, yeah, okay, got it. Return list, list of posts and empty list and just yeah, mm, you realize very early that you are not calling the files. So it takes those files. Oh, that worked actually. First try, guys. First try. So this is the I know this is a bit. This is not correct. But what else could you do? Maybe you can have some form of separator here, and this is the beginning of the content. But I don't care. Or you can have two slashes, and let me just confirm that that actually works. File think of one. So this will be the content, and that will be the fund method. Very good. Okay, that is working. I think we should go ahead and do the parsing, which will be uh, okay. Let me do this front matter as bytes. Okay, yeah. Let's keep it in the bytes. File str of 0 and content as bytes as well. With file. Okay, so once we have that, what I want to do is I want to do just one unmasking, which will be it will return the error since we already have a different JSON dot unmaster with the content sorry one megabyte and I will create the one master type. Okay, that was that. So we should not do that. Not just the clean. Okay, so then is our Python instance. This looks cool, but Golang has different problems. So where else should I do that kind of things? Okay, that's what we are doing. That and file path, read files. So that is the read files. Okay. Uh, Now we are left with unmasking this to fundamental object, which will be fundamental, fundamental. That will be fundamental object. The typical important then log the paper as log the error out, and I just want to try it the if the fundamental object actually has stuff in that. Let's print that and let's also print the content bytes. Uh, no first try. Okay. And, so title description what is okay, so uh, let's just advanced. There's no oh, oh why not keep doing that? Okay, we got it. This thing content by this tool. So let me comment down this. Actually, not comment down. Yes, because we will need that. So as for the post object, which will be now set with uh, the front method and content. So we have one method as the field, which will be set as one method object, and the content as string of content bytes, uh, content bytes. So I need to create a global, not a global, uh, for this for loop as a global, a post uh, object with a list of post type and keep on appending to it at this stage. So posts dot append the post type, and that is it, I guess. So this will return post and or an error. So if error is maybe fatal error or development, I'm happy to see that error. Okay, so fine. I guess we are there. So for post in Python instance, post so for post in post from dot to plain, I just I just want to get uh, the title. Sorry, what? Oh yeah, because what? Right. Uh, post dot fundamental dot title. Okay, cool. Let's close that, and I just add one more file here. So first post dot md, what is the entire thing, paste it here and call it first post. Okay, okay, that is working. So that is it. Okay, why is it post? Yeah, I think that's inside of function as well. We are printing it out. Evaluate. So once that is done, that is it. So we are able to do what we have intended, which is quite short code here. It is a mess, but that is how it works. So what we did today is we first loaded in the config file, which we have set as a constant uh, name, which is basically the name. There could be changed later, but that's not the point of this live stream. So SSG config will be so we are what we are trying to do now is we have the file, we have the bytes that we have read into the file, and we are trying to unmarshal or make sense of out of that JSON file. So that SSG config will be we'll add to it, but for now we have kept it simple with the blob and authors as the config that we have. So with blob, the blob config looks something like this: the name, base URL, base PRT, base PIR, all the things that we need for the basic server method to work. We have used this in the others. This is just highlighted for demonstrating it for unmasking things. So once we have that, we what we do is we now have config, right? We have the config object that will be used in the entire the or that will be used in the entire SSD process to load the post file, uh, also the templates, and then another template within the content with the specific templates for that post. That's why we have created the what we call enum for this, right? We can use this to sort of use templates specific to that post type that we have in the front matter then. So that is done. And so what we will do is the content will have the post dir, which will be the folder where all the content bound files will reside. So we'll have that and we'll walk and list files. So this is a function that we wrote today, which will walk through that post file and return us all the files that are there in that file. So this will just return the instruction, which will be file paths. And once we have the file paths, we'll read the files. What with each file, we'll read the file bytes, and we will do simple little hack here to split out the font matter and the content. So we want to uh, we want to unmarshal or you want to make sense of that font matter for that particular post. So we'll use unmarshal to uh, use that split, right? So the first half of the split will be the font matter and the second half will be the content. So we'll load that. We have created the font matter object. CSV types will add on to in the later stages. So once we have the post and the so once we have the font matter and the content, we create a post object and then append to the post list, and that's how we have the list of posts. Yeah, so that is it for today's live stream. I think I did it over 2 hours, uh, but yeah, that is what we have done. And so the first is the next part. We'll try to load in the templates, and then we will have post because we already have a post now, and we'll load in the templates. We have not created templates yet, but yeah, we'll create that, and then render those templates into. So with the help of the post, we'll enter those into templates, and then that should be the essence of server generator. That that will be the entirety of the basic things that we have discussed in this thing here, right? So we have a markdown the configuration, the templates, and then we generate specified page. So once we will have that, we will try to experiment it with the database. So yeah, I think that should be a wrap for today's. Thank you. We'll see in the next week. I'll see you in the next week. Thanks. Bye. Just stop this.